Hi dear, welcome to Trader's Mind Code. Why 98% of traders fail, trapped in the mirror maze. Why read this book? If you've ever wondered why most traders fail despite hard work and smart strategies, this book reveals the hidden psychological traps that keep 98% stuck in a losing cycle. You'll discover how to break free from self-sabotage, master your emotions, and develop the mindset that separates successful traders from the rest. This is more than a trading guide. It's a roadmap to transforming your mind and your results. Introduction. Welcome to the mirror maze. Most traders don't lose because they're stupid. They lose because they're unaware of what they're really fighting. And here's the truth. The biggest opponent in trading isn't the market. It's your own reflection. Welcome to the mirror maze, a psychological trap where illusions look like opportunities, emotions disguise themselves as logic, and every turn you take feels like progress. Until you realize you've been walking in circles. But let's be real. You didn't get into trading just for fun. You saw the potential, the freedom, the income, the chance to finally break free from the 9 to 5 grind. Maybe you followed someone on YouTube making crazy profits. Maybe you heard about crypto millionaires, or you downloaded an app that made it all look easy. And for a moment, it was exciting. The charts were alive. The profits seemed within reach. But then the losses came. The inconsistency, the frustration. You doubled down, tried new strategies, joined groups, bought a course. Still, nothing clicked. And slowly, the dream began to fade. What happened? You entered the mirror maze without knowing it. What is the mirror maze? The mirror maze is not a physical place. It's a mental and emotional trap, a complex loop of beliefs, biases, and behaviors that cause traders to sabotage their own success. It's what happens when you keep changing strategies every week, hoping the next one will finally work. You feel unstoppable after a win and reckless after a loss. You trade to get it back after a mistake, only to dig a deeper hole. You follow influencers who flash profits but hide their losses. You mistake screen time for skill or knowledge for discipline. It feels like you're doing everything right. You're learning, working hard, staying up late, but the results aren't showing up. Why? Because the problem isn't just what you're doing, it's how you're thinking. Exploding head. Why 98% fail, and why it's not entirely your fault. Here's a stat nobody likes to talk about. Around 98% of retail traders lose money over time, not because they're lazy, not because they don't want it badly enough, but because they walk into the game with the wrong mindset, and the system feeds off it. The trading world is full of noise, misinformation, false confidence. You're told to chase profits, master technicals, or just stick to a plan. But no one teaches you how to master yourself. This book will light bulb what this book is and what it's not. This is not a trading strategy book. There are no secret indicators here, no magic setups, no signals. Because let's be honest, if strategies alone worked, you wouldn't be reading this right now. This book is a deep dive into the psychology of failure and success in trading. It's about the internal battles you fight every time you place a trade. The voices of fear, greed, regret, overconfidence, and self-doubt. It's about why traders win big one day and blow up the next. Exit too early, enter too late. Trade from hope, fear, or anger instead of logic. Know what to do, but can't make themselves do it. You'll discover how the mind tricks you, how your habits hurt you, and how your beliefs shape your results, often without you even realizing it. Doorway out of the maze. But here's the good news. You're not stuck forever. Once you understand how the mirror maze works, you can escape it. Once you see the traps, you stop falling for them. Once you master your mindset, you stop being part of the 98%, and you start walking the path of the 2%. In this book, we'll break down the most common psychological traps, chapter by chapter, and show you not only why most traders fail, but how to train yourself to think, act, and evolve like a pro. If you're ready to stop chasing trades and start mastering your mind. If you're tired of emotional losses and want clarity. If you've failed before, but you refuse to give up, then you've already taken the first step. You've recognized the mirror. Now, let's walk through the maze together. Chapter 1. The 98% Trap. What the stats don't tell you. You've probably heard the statistic before. 98% of traders lose money. It's a sobering figure. And yet, most people don't really grasp what it means. They hear it Acknowledge it, and then silently think, that won't be me. But here's the uncomfortable truth. Most traders fail not because of bad luck or lack of intelligence, but because they misunderstand what the game of trading truly is. They walk into a financial battlefield dressed for a math contest. This chapter will take you inside the anatomy of the 98%, who they are, why they fail, and what no one tells you about what's really going on underneath the surface, the dream. That sells itself. Let's begin where most traders start. The dream.it often starts with a video, a tweet, or a friend. A highlight reel of someone making 5 figures a day from their laptop. They're on the beach. They're drinking coffee in a penthouse. And their screen is filled with glowing green candles and perfect entries. That image hits deep. You think, if they can do it, so can I. I just need to learn the right system. So you open a brokerage account. Maybe you dabble in crypto, forex, or options. You study charts. You watch videos. You enter your first trade. And sometimes you win. Not because you know what you're doing, but because the market gives you a small reward. Just enough to hook you in. That win creates a false confidence. It whispers, you've got this. But that's the first layer of the trap. The real definition of failure. Let's redefine what failure really means. Failure in trading isn't always blowing up an account. It's not just about going broke or rage-quitting.it can also mean being stuck in a cycle of small wins and big losses, being emotionally drained and mentally exhausted, constantly doubting yourself and your strategy, not knowing whether your success is skill or luck, making money, but hating the process. The 98% includes traders who never reach consistency, who can't detach from emotions, who jump from method to method hoping the next one will work. They fail because their mindset was never built for uncertainty, risk, or self-discipline, the 3 pillars of long-term survival in the market. And that's what the statistic doesn't tell you. Most traders don't fail because of the market. They fail because of how they respond to the market. The illusion of early success. Here's where things get tricky. In the beginning, trading doesn't always punish you for doing the wrong thing. In fact, sometimes it rewards you for it. You might enter on impulse, no plan, just gut instinct, and walk away with a profit. You might take a risky position with poor risk management, and it works out. This sends a dangerous message to your brain. Maybe rules aren't that important after all. But markets are unpredictable. What works once may never work again. And just like a slot machine that pays out now and then, trading can create a cycle of intermittent reinforcement, the most addictive kind of reward psychology. Before you know it, you're trading not based on logic, but on chasing that next emotional hit. This is how many traders get trapped, not in the market, but in behavioral loops they don't even realize they're stuck in. Overconfidence, the silent killer. After a few wins, many traders start to feel invincible. They increase their position sizes. They ignore risk rules. They believe they've cracked the code, but the market is indifferent to confidence. It doesn't care how sure you are. It only responds to probability and risk exposure. So when the inevitable losing streak comes, and it always comes, it hits hard. The overconfident trader isn't prepared for it. They don't have the emotional tools to handle uncertainty. They don't know how to step back and reassess. Instead, they double down. They revenge trade. They spiral. What started as a dream of financial freedom now feels like chaos, shame, and regret. Why most traders aren't actually learning. Here's something else the 98% have in common. They think they're learning, but they're not. Watching YouTube videos is not learning. Copying trades from Twitter or Telegram is not learning. Jumping from one strategy to the next is not learning. Real learning in trading means journaling your trades and analyzing your behavior, studying your emotional responses under pressure, understanding your personal strengths and psychological weaknesses, building a repeatable process rooted in your data, not someone else's. But the majority of traders skip this part. They chase quick answers, not deep understanding. They want shortcuts, and the market punishes them for it. The system is designed to exploit you. Let's get brutally honest. The trading industry profits from your failure. Platforms make money on your trades, win or lose. Influencers make money selling dreams, not results. Courses are marketed to the desperate, not the disciplined. Everything is built to lure you into thinking trading is easy, fast, and scalable from day one. It's not. That's the heart of the 98% trap. You're told just enough to believe you can win, but not enough to understand what it truly takes. The game is psychological, and most people don't even realize they're playing it. So what makes the 2% different? We'll go deeper into this later in the book, but here's the truth. The 2% don't just think differently, they train differently. They approach trading like a mental sport, not a money-making machine. They track their mistakes. They master emotional control. They learn when not to trade just as much as when to trade. They are consistent not because they're perfect, but because they've learned how to fail intelligently and grow from it. You're not doomed. You're early. If you're listening to this book, chances are you've either already experienced some of this, or you're starting to see the signs. That's a good thing. Because awareness is the first step out of the trap. You're not too late. You're not broken. You're just early in the journey. And now you have a chance to shift your trajectory before more damage is done. Before we move on to strategies, tools, and techniques, we need to go deeper into the emotional patterns that cause most traders to crash. Because if you can spot the traps early, you can start walking the path of the 2%. Let's keep going. Chapter 2. The Illusion of Control. Why more knowledge isn't always power. In the beginning, knowledge feels like power. You binge watch trading videos. You download free PDFs. You learn about candlesticks, indicators, price action, volume, Fibonacci levels, and market structure. You follow experts who break down setups frame by frame. And every time you learn something new, your confidence rises. It feels like progress. It feels like control. But here's the hard truth. Most traders drown in information and starve for clarity. You don't fail because you don't know enough. You fail because you think knowing more will protect you from uncertainty. And that's the illusion. The comfort of complexity. Let's face it, trading is uncomfortable. It's full of risk, doubt, and randomness. Losses happen even when you do everything right. You can make the perfect entry and still get stopped out. You can follow the trend and still get caught in a fake out. That uncertainty is hard to live with. Instead of accepting it, most traders do something else. They try to outsmart it. They add more indicators, more filters, more confirmation. They think if they just get the right combination of tools, they'll finally be safe. This creates the illusion of control, the false belief that with enough information, you can predict and control the market. But trading doesn't work that way. The market doesn't care how many indicators you use. It doesn't care how many books you've read or how much you've studied. It cares about probability, discipline, and risk exposure. It rewards those who can execute under pressure, not those who can recite technical theory. Information isn't. Transformation knowledge is important. Don't get me wrong, but knowledge by itself doesn't make you a successful trader. But it's like fitness. Reading 100 workout plans won't build muscle unless you show up and train consistently with intensity and focus. And when things get tough, when your form breaks, when you're tired, when it burns, your knowledge won't save you. Your habits will. The same goes for trading. Knowing about emotions isn't the same as managing them. Knowing about risk management isn't the same as respecting it in real time. Knowing a setup isn't the same as executing it without hesitation when it appears. Many traders spend all their energy learning strategies and never build the mental operating system needed to apply them. That's where the 98% fall behind. The overconfidence curve. Here's a pattern you'll see in almost every trader's journey. Stage 1, ignorance. You're new. You know you don't know much. Stage 2, confidence. You've learned some things. You start to feel smart. Stage 3, overconfidence. You think you've cracked the code. You overtrade. Stage 4, reality check. The market humbles you. Losses mount. Stage 5, confusion. You wonder what you're missing. You learn more. Stage 6, complexity. You add more tools, thinking they'll protect you. Stage 7, burnout. You realize none of it is working. The cycle repeats until you realize something powerful. It's not about knowing more. It's about doing less with precision. The 2% don't aim for control. They aim for clarity. They've accepted that they'll never fully control the market, but they can control how they respond to it. And that's the difference. Why simplicity? Wins. Walk into any professional trading floor and ask the top performers what their strategy is. You won't hear about 27 indicators. You won't see color-coded rainbow charts with arrows and alarms. You'll see simplicity. A few clean levels, a clear thesis, a repeatable entry, and above all, consistent execution. Professionals remove noise. Amateurs add it. Why? Because simplicity requires confidence. It requires commitment. It requires the mental strength to say, "This is enough. I know my edge. I'm sticking to it." Complexity, on the other hand, is a shield. It protects you from blame. When you lose, you can say, "I just need more data." But professionals don't play that game. They take full ownership. What real control looks like. Let's reframe the idea of control. Real control in trading isn't about knowing the future. It's about controlling your position size, your risk per trade, your reaction to loss, your impulses to overtrade, your discipline to follow your plan. That's it. The market is uncontrollable, but you are not. Most traders chase control where they can't have it, in prediction. Elite traders build control where it matters, in execution. The seduction of the next strategy. If you've ever said to yourself, "Maybe I just haven't found the right system yet," you're not alone. This is one of the most common traps. In the mirror maze, you believe your inconsistency is a strategy problem. So you keep switching price action to indicators, indicators to bots, bots to order flow, and back again. But no system will work until you work, until your emotions are under control, your risk is managed, and your discipline is locked in. No strategy will save you. That's why the illusion of control is so dangerous. It makes you think the answer is out there, in more knowledge, but it's not. It's already within you, waiting to be trained, strengthened, mastered, breaking the illusion. So how do you escape the illusion of control? Simplify. Strip your trading process down to its essentials. Remove anything that doesn't serve your edge. Accept uncertainty. Stop trying to eliminate randomness. Embrace it. Learn to work with probability, not against it. Shift your focus from predicting the market to managing yourself. Build process over outcome. Fall in love with the execution, not the result. Track yourself. Start journaling your trades, your thoughts, your emotional state. Data is clarity. Clarity is power. Chapter 3. Emotions versus execution. Trading against yourself. You know the setup. You've done the analysis. You've marked your levels, checked the trend, and even sized your position correctly. Then, the moment arrives. The market touches your zone. And suddenly, hesitation. You freeze. You second guess. You wait too long. You enter late. Or worse, you don't enter at all. Other times, you do everything right. You enter on time. The trade moves in your favor. But then, fear creeps in. You close early, afraid to lose the profits you just made. Moments later, the trade hits your full target. Without you, you didn't lose to the market. You lost to yourself. Welcome to the emotional battlefield. Why strategy alone isn't enough. Every trader wants a winning strategy. And yes, strategy matters. It gives you structure. It gives you consistency. But here's the problem. The best strategy in the world is useless if you can't execute it under pressure. Trading is not just technical. It's emotional. Your ability to act consistently in the face of risk, fear, greed, doubt is the real skill that separates the winners from the wannabes. This is where most traders fall apart. They think their strategy is broken, when, in reality, it's their emotions breaking their execution. The moment the market becomes personal, let's be honest, that a chart is just a chart until you put your money on it. Then it becomes personal. Then it means something. Then every candle, every tick, feels like it's talking to you. A red candle feels like rejection. A green candle feels like hope. A pullback feels like betrayal. A breakout feels like redemption. That you're no longer trading the market. You're reacting to your feelings about the market. And when that happens, logic takes a back seat. Your brain switches from calculated thinking to emotional survival mode. This is why traders exit winners too early, hold losers too long, add to bad positions, skip valid setups out of fear, trade impulsively to get it back. They're not making these decisions consciously. They're reacting, often without even realizing it. Understanding your emotional operating system to master execution. You must first understand your emotional triggers. Here are the most common emotional responses that destroy execution. Fear of losing. You hesitate to enter. You exit early. You size down too much. You avoid taking trades you know are valid. Fear of missing out. FOMO. You chase trades late. You jump in without confirmation. You abandon your plan because you saw someone else profit. Greed. You hold beyond your plan, hoping for more. You increase size after a win. You ignore your rules for a bigger payday. Revenge, you take impulsive trades after a loss. You abandon discipline to make it back. You fight the market emotionally, not logically. Ego, you refuse to admit you're wrong. You double down on bad trades. You think you're smarter than the market. Each of these emotions causes you to override your plan. And that's what kills traders, not the market, but their inability to stick to what they already know works. The biological battle you're fighting, what most traders don't realize is that your brain isn't designed for trading. When you're under pressure, especially financial pressure, your amygdala kicks in. That's the primal part of your brain responsible for survival. It triggers your fight, flight, or freeze response. In real life, that's helpful. In the markets, it's deadly. It causes you to panic when a candle moves against you, feel relief by exiting too soon, rush to take action when stillness is required, make decisions that feel good in the moment, but are wrong long-term. This is why awareness is so important, because without it, your default settings will sabotage your trading. Why you must detach emotion from execution. The most consistent traders aren't emotionless. They're emotionally disciplined. They still feel fear. They still feel greed. But they don't let those feelings drive their decisions. They've trained themselves to trust the process, not the impulse. To follow their rules, even when it's uncomfortable. To stay neutral, even when the market tempts them to react. That's what real mastery looks like. Training execution like a skill. Execution is a trainable skill, but it doesn't come from more knowledge. It comes from deliberate emotional conditioning. Here's how to train it. Journaling after every trade. Write down not just the result, but your emotional state. What did you feel? What triggered it? What did you do because of it? Pre-trade. Rituals before each session. Center yourself. Review your plan. Visualize execution. Remind yourself of your role. Follow the plan, not the feelings. Smaller size. If you're struggling with emotion, reduce your position size. It's easier to stay logical when the money doesn't feel threatening. Pause before entry. Add a 3-second rule before every trade. Ask yourself, am I following my plan or reacting emotionally? Review missed trades. Look back at setups you skipped or ruined due to emotion. Study them. Understand the trigger. Prepare for the next one. Build loss tolerance. Accept that losses are part of the game. Stop treating them as personal failures. When you normalize loss, you take its emotional power away. The execution edge. In the end, execution is what defines your edge. You don't need the perfect setup. You need a repeatable one. You don't need to be right every time. You need to be disciplined every time. The 2% win not because they never feel emotion, but because they never let emotion decide for them. And that's a superpower you can develop if you're willing to train it. Chapter 4. The Dopamine Cycle. How trading becomes a hidden addiction. Nobody starts trading thinking it will become a problem. Nobody thinks it could resemble addiction. After all, you're not gambling. You're learning, improving, building a skill. You're making educated decisions based on analysis, right? That's what you tell yourself. But behind the charts, the setups, and the so-called strategy, something deeper is often happening. A cycle, a loop. And at the center of it is dopamine, the same brain chemical that drives addiction to gambling, social media, even drugs. This chapter is about the invisible system that hijacks your focus, distorts your decisions, and keeps you trapped in impulsive, compulsive trading behavior without you even realizing it. Let's expose the dopamine cycle. What is dopamine, really? Dopamine is often misunderstood. It's not the pleasure chemical. It's the motivation chemical. It doesn't reward you for having something. It motivates you to pursue it. It's the surge you feel when you're about to enter a trade. You anticipate a big when you're watching a trade unfold in real time. You chase a move you think you missed. You reload the chart over and over, waiting for something to happen. That anticipation, that tension, that excitement, that's dopamine, and it's designed to keep you chasing. The brain loves uncertainty, especially when it's tied to possible reward. And there's no environment richer in uncertainty and reward than the financial markets. How trading hooks the brain. Think about what makes casinos addictive. Rapid wins and losses, bright visuals, and constant motion, the illusion of control. The thrill of unpredictability, occasional rewards that reinforce behavior. Now, compare that to trading. Fast-moving charts and flashing candlesticks, profits and losses happening in seconds, endless stimulation, random but reinforcing wins constant access from your phone. 24/7, it's the same reward loop, only dressed in financial literacy. But here's the twist. Because trading feels productive, most people don't recognize the addiction forming that you're not at a blackjack table. You're working, you're doing analysis, you're learning from experience. But the truth is, many traders aren't improving. They're getting high off the act of trading itself. Signs you're caught in the dopamine loop knot. Sure if this applies to you? Here are the signs that dopamine, not discipline, is running your trading. You feel restless when the market is closed. You check charts compulsively. Even when you're not trading, you trade, even when there's no setup, just to do something. You feel more alive during a trade than at any other time. You keep trading after a big win or big loss. Chasing the same emotional hit, you break your rules more often than you follow them, and always have a justification to rush. The thrill, the chase, that's not strategy, that's stimulation, and it's subtle. The dopamine cycle doesn't feel like addiction. It feels like passion, like grinding, like being serious about the craft. But when you zoom out, the pattern becomes clear. You're not trading the market anymore. You're trading your feelings. The emotional cost of the cycle, the dopamine loop, isn't just dangerous for your trading account. It slowly damages your mindset, your discipline, and your self-trust. Here's what happens. You become numb to losses. You start seeing them as part of the chase, not warnings. You normalize recklessness. You develop emotional tolerance. What used to feel risky no longer satisfies. You start needing bigger trades, higher leverage, faster results, just to feel something. You lose objectivity. You can't tell if you're trading a real edge or just reacting to boredom, stress, or the need for stimulation. You stop growing. Instead of reviewing and refining, you focus only on the next trade, the next rush. Learning stops. Repetition begins, and eventually, burnout, your energy drains. Your results plateau. You feel stuck, but can't stop. That's not failure. That's addiction, and it's incredibly common. The role of technology. Modern trading platforms are designed to keep you glued. Real-time quotes, one-click execution, mobile apps, vibrant UIs, push notifications. It's engineered dopamine delivery in your pocket all day long. You can't just blame yourself. You're operating inside a system designed to keep you engaged, but awareness gives you leverage. Because once you see the loop, you can begin to break it. How to break the cycle and take back control. Here's how to reclaim your discipline and disconnect from the dopamine trap. Reduce frequency. Cut the number of trades you take per day or week. Shift your focus from more trades to better trades. Limit screen time. Don't stare at charts all day. Set fixed times to review the market. Walk away once your plan is executed. Define clear rules and stick to them. Use hard rules for entries, exits, and risk. Follow them even when your emotions say otherwise. Journal emotional states. Don't just log trades. Track your mental state before, during, and after. Look for emotional patterns. Take recovery days if you feel the urge to trade just because. Stop. Step away. Clear your mind. This is detox for your brain. Practice mindful trading before entering a trade. Pause. Ask yourself, is this part of my plan or part of my pattern? Go smaller. Lower your risk until the money doesn't trigger emotion. Trade like a robot. Feel like a monk. Freedom is boring, and that's okay. Here's the paradox. The more boring your trading becomes, the more consistent your results will be. Professionals aren't thrill seekers. They're execution machines. They enter, manage, and exit with no drama, no rush, no emotional roller coaster. That's the goal. Not excitement, not stimulation, not adrenaline, but peace, precision, process, and over time, profit. Chapter 5, FOMO, Regret, and Revenge. The triple threat of trader psychology. Trading is not just a game of numbers, charts, and strategies. At its core, it's a battle of emotions. And among the countless emotions that shape trader behavior, 3 stand out as especially destructive: FOMO, regret, and revenge. These 3 forces act like a triple threat, hitting traders at their weakest moments and sabotaging even the best-laid plans. Understanding them is crucial because they don't just lead to poor decisions. They trap you in cycles of frustration and loss. FOMO. The fear of missing out. FOMO is the silent predator that lurks behind every big market move. Imagine this. The price you've been watching suddenly takes off, skyrocketing without you. You see others jumping in, posting profits, celebrating wins. Your mind races. What if I'm missing the biggest trade of my life? That fear pulls you in. You abandon your plan. You chase the price. You enter late, with no confirmation, no risk management, driven by panic and urgency. The result? You get caught in the tail end of the move, where reversals are common. You suffer a loss or a near miss, feeding the fire of frustration and self-doubt that FOMO thrives on uncertainty and social proof. When everyone else seems to be winning, your brain wants to join the party, even if the odds are stacked against you. Regret. The ghost of missed opportunities. Regret is the heavy weight on every trader's conscience. You spotted a setup, but you hesitated. You sat on the sidelines while the market moved perfectly. Later, you replay the moment in your head, wishing you had acted. That what if feeling gnaws at you. It's a form of emotional punishment for inaction, and it can be as destructive as losing money. Regret creates self-doubt and second-guessing. It undermines your confidence and encourages you to either overtrade, trying to make up for lost chances, chase impulsive entries without proper analysis. This cycle leads to inconsistency and emotional exhaustion. Revenge. Trading to get even. Revenge. Trading is one of the most dangerous behaviors a trader can fall into. After a loss, the desire to get it back can feel overwhelming. Your emotions flare. Logic fades. You enter trades impulsively, increasing size or ignoring rules, all in the hope of wiping out the loss. Instead, you often amplify it. Revenge trading is fueled by frustration, anger, and desperation. It breaks discipline and erodes the mental stability necessary for success. How these three work together. FOMO, regret, and revenge don't appear randomly. They are interconnected, feeding into each other and creating a downward spiral. FOMO causes you to chase trades. Chasing trades leads to losses or missed entries. Losses cause regret and frustration. Regret triggers revenge trading. Revenge trading increases losses, which worsens fear and doubt that if unchecked, this spiral can destroy confidence, capital, and resolve. Breaking free. Strategies to fight the triple threat. Recognizing these emotions is the first step, but knowing is not enough. You need strategies to manage and overcome them. Create a clear trading plan. Write down your entry, exit, and risk rules before the market opens. When FOMO strikes, remind yourself, I trade my plan, not the hype. Accept that you will miss trades. Not every opportunity is yours to take. Missing a trade doesn't mean failure. It means discipline. Journal emotional responses after each trade or missed opportunity. Note your feelings. This practice helps you identify emotional patterns and triggers. Set loss limits and break times when you lose. Stop trading for the day or session. Revenge trading rarely leads to recovery. Use visualization and mental rehearsal before trading. Visualize sticking to your plan despite temptations. Prepare your mind to face FOMO and regret calmly. Build emotional awareness. Regularly check in with yourself during trading sessions. Ask, am I trading because of my plan or because of my feelings? Why mastering these emotions leads to freedom. When you learn to identify and control FOMO, regret, and revenge, you gain more than just better trading results. You gain freedom. Freedom from emotional roller coasters. Freedom from reactive decisions. Freedom to trade with clarity and confidence. The market doesn't have to feel like a trap. Your mind doesn't have to feel like a battlefield. You can learn to walk through the mirror maze with your eyes wide open, understanding your emotional tendencies and choosing your actions consciously. That's the path to joining the 2% who trade successfully over the long term. Chapter 6. Strategy Overload. Drowning in indicators. When you first start trading, the charts can feel like a secret language. Each line, candle, and number seems to hold the key to making consistent profits. You want to decode it all. You want to master every tool. So, you dive deep into technical analysis, learning about moving averages, RSI, MACD, Bollinger Bands, Fibonacci retracements, Ichimoku clouds, and more. You study countless indicators. You add layer after layer to your charts. You follow tutorials, promising that the next tool will unlock the market's secrets. But then something happens. Instead of clarity, you feel confusion. Instead of confidence, you feel overwhelmed. Instead of precision, you feel stuck. paralyzed by choices. Welcome to the trap of strategy overload. Why more isn't always better. It's easy to think that more indicators mean better decisions. After all, each one is designed to give you more information, right? More data should equal more accuracy. But trading isn't about accumulating signals. It's about filtering noise. Too many indicators often contradict each other. One flashes by while another signals sell. You end up stuck in analysis paralysis, unable to act because the tools disagree. This conflict doesn't help you. It hurts you. It wastes time, drains confidence, and causes hesitation. The illusion of complexity. Adding more tools can feel like control. You're building a fortress of analysis, hoping it will protect you from risk. But this complexity is mostly an illusion. The market doesn't respond to how many indicators you use. It responds to price action, volume, and sentiment. When you rely on dozens of indicators, you often miss the bigger picture. You lose touch with the core of trading, reading market behavior. Why traders get hooked on indicators? Indicators are seductive because they promise certainty. They offer clear signals, arrows, beeps, colors that take the guesswork out of trading. But the truth is, no indicator guarantees success. Markets are fluid and dynamic, not mechanical. Still, traders chase indicators because they want quick answers. They fear making decisions based on gut feelings. They believe more data equals less risk. Unfortunately, this mindset sets them up for disappointment. The cost of strategy overload. Strategy overload comes with hidden costs. Emotional fatigue. Constantly switching signals causes mental exhaustion. You feel drained before you even place a trade. Delayed decisions. You hesitate while waiting for perfect alignment. Good setups slip away. Inconsistent execution. Conflicting signals lead to erratic trading behavior. You enter and exit trades unpredictably. Loss of confidence. When indicators don't deliver, you doubt your own judgment. This undermines your entire trading process. The power of simplification. The antidote to strategy overload is simplification. Great traders know that less is more. They focus on a few key tools that fit their style and personality. Simplification leads to faster decisions, clearer analysis, consistent execution, stronger confidence. Remember, your goal isn't to collect indicators. It's to develop an edge, a repeatable method that works for you. How to simplify your trading. Here are practical steps to break free from indicator overload. Start with 1 or 2 indicators. Choose the tools that resonate most with you. Learn to read them deeply before adding more. Focus on price action. Study candlestick patterns, support and resistance, and chart structure. Price is the ultimate indicator. Create a trading checklist. Define your entry and exit criteria clearly using your chosen indicators and price action. Stick to the checklist. Avoid indicator chasing. Resist the urge to add a new indicator after every loss. Consistency beats complexity. Backtest and practice. Test your simplified strategy over time. Build trust through repetition. Use visual clean charts. Remove clutter to focus on what matters. A clean chart leads to clearer decisions. Real traders. Real examples. Professional traders rarely display dozens of indicators. They tend to use 1 moving average for trend direction, 1 momentum indicator for timing, price levels for entry and exit. They combine this with a disciplined approach to risk management and emotional control. Their success comes from mastery, not multiplication. Chapter 7. The myth of the winning system. When you first enter trading, you quickly hear about the importance of having a winning system. A perfect strategy that will unlock consistent profits and finally bring financial freedom. It sounds promising. It sounds logical. After all, trading is a game of skill, right? So if you find the right method, success should follow. But here's the truth few people tell you. There is no holy grail. There is no winning system that works for everyone, all the time. This chapter will dismantle the myth of the winning system and show you what really matters. The search for certainty. Humans crave certainty. We want a roadmap, a formula, a secret sauce. In trading, that desire manifests as the hunt for the perfect system. You test strategies. You backtest. You tweak settings. You buy courses promising a guaranteed method. You ask forums and follow gurus. But no matter how many systems you try, the results are never consistent. Why? Because the market is a living, breathing entity, constantly changing, unpredictable, and full of surprises. No system can predict the future with certainty. Why winning systems fail. There are several reasons why the myth persists. Yet so many systems fail. Backtesting bias systems are often tested on past data where they worked well. But past performance is no guarantee of future success. Changing market conditions. Markets evolve. What worked in one era, one volatility regime, or one asset may fail in another. Execution issues. Even the best system requires disciplined execution. Emotional interference can destroy results. Over-optimization. Traders sometimes curve fit a system to historical data so precisely that it loses real-world applicability. Ignoring risk management. A system that ignores position sizing and risk control is doomed, regardless of signals. The danger of chasing systems. The obsession with finding a winning system can lead to constant switching, jumping from one method to another, never giving any strategy time to work. Paralysis by analysis. Overloading with complex systems and indicators, freezing on decisions. Emotional roller coaster. Riding the highs and lows of hope and disappointment with each new magic system. All of these behaviors keep traders stuck in the 98% trap. What actually matters. Here's the secret that separates successful traders from the rest. Consistency in execution. Sticking to a simple, well-understood method consistently over time. Emotional control. Managing fear, greed, and doubt so you can execute the plan without hesitation. Robust risk management. Protecting your capital and surviving losing streaks. Adaptability. Learning to read the market's changing conditions and adjusting your approach, not abandoning it altogether. Building your own edge instead of hunting for a winning system. Focus on building your own edge. Start simple. Choose a clear, manageable approach that fits your personality and schedule. Master one method. Commit to learning the rules and nuances of your chosen style deeply. Track and reflect. Keep a journal. Review your trades and behavior. Adjust based on real data. Prioritize process over outcome. Focus on following your rules rather than chasing profits. Manage risk like a pro. Set stop losses. Control position size. And never risk more than you can afford to lose. The reality of trading is not about finding a magical shortcut. It's about disciplined patience, continuous learning, emotional resilience. No system replaces these fundamentals. Chapter 8. Risk Management. The discipline. 98% ignore. When people think about successful trading, their minds often jump to the dazzling stories of huge profits, winning streaks, and perfect calls on market moves. But the reality behind consistent trading success is much more grounded and far less glamorous. That IT comes down to one critical skill that the majority of traders overlook or misunderstand: risk management. While 98% of traders focus on finding the perfect trade or the holy grail system, the truly disciplined traders know this truth. Protecting your capital is more important than chasing profits. Why risk management matters more than strategy. You can have the best strategy in the world, but without proper risk management, it's like building a house on sand. Markets are unpredictable. Losses are inevitable. How you handle those losses determines whether you survive and thrive or crash and burn. Risk management is your safety net. It defines how much you're willing to lose on any single trade and ensures you don't let one loss wipe out your entire account. Without it, even a small losing streak can become catastrophic. The common mistakes that lead to ruin. Most traders fail to manage risk because of these common errors. Risking too much per trade. Many traders put too large a portion of their capital on the line. A 5% risk per trade might seem small, but multiple losses can quickly decimate an account. Ignoring stop losses, skipping, or moving stop losses turns risk into a gamble. Without strict stops, a small loss can balloon into a disaster. Overtrading, trading too often, or sizing up after losses increases exposure beyond what your account can handle. Letting emotions override rules. Fear, greed, and hope cause traders to hold losing positions too long or add to losing trades. Chasing after losses. Revenge trading doubles risk and often magnifies losses. The fundamentals of effective risk management. Risk management isn't complicated. It's about discipline and consistency. Here are the core principles. Determine your risk per trade. A common guideline is to risk no more than 1 to 2% of your total capital on any single trade. This keeps you safe through losing streaks. Use stop-loss orders religiously. Define your exit point before entering a trade and stick to it. no exceptions. Calculate position size based on risk. Position size should be adjusted so that if your stop loss is hit, you lose only the predetermined amount. Diversify your trades. Avoid putting all your capital into one market or one strategy. Manage overall exposure. Be aware of how much total risk you have open across multiple trades. Why discipline beats luck. Risk management is the ultimate test of discipline. It requires saying no to emotional impulses, no to the temptation of chasing just one more trade. It means accepting losses as part of the game, not personal failures. Disciplined traders understand that survival is the game. Without capital, you cannot play. Without rules, the market will take everything from you. Real-world examples of risk mismanagement. Countless traders have blown up accounts by risking too much, moving stops, or chasing losses. The trader who doubled down on a losing position, hoping for a reversal, only to wipe out months of gains in minutes. The beginner who ignored stop losses during a volatile event and lost nearly everything. The experienced trader who over-leveraged after a string of wins and was margin called during a market swing. These stories aren't rare. They're warnings. Building a risk management plan to protect yourself. Build a clear, written risk management plan. Include your maximum risk per trade, your maximum daily/weekly loss limits, rules for adjusting position size, procedures for setting and honoring stop losses, guidelines for stepping away after losses. Review and update this plan regularly. The psychological side of risk management. Managing risk is not just math, it's mindset. You must embrace losses as part of trading. You must cultivate patience and humility. The market doesn't owe you money. Every trade is a probability, not a promise. Accepting this reduces emotional reactions, helping you stick to your risk limits. Chapter 9. The Social Media Mirage. Influencers, gurus, and false prophets. In today's digital age, the trading world has shifted dramatically. The old image of traders sitting quietly in front of screens has been replaced by flashy videos, Instagram stories, TikTok clips, and endless YouTube tutorials. Social media is everywhere, promising shortcuts, revealing secret strategies, showcasing instant riches. But beneath the glitz and glamour lies a dangerous mirage. This chapter exposes the illusion behind the social media trading hype and why it traps so many traders in the 98% failure rate. The rise of the trading influencers and gurus have exploded in popularity. They post screenshots of massive gains, luxury lifestyles, exotic vacations, all funded by simple trading systems they claim anyone can follow. Their videos show screens flashing with green profits, real-time entries, and exits, bold claims of life-changing returns, testimonials, and community hype for many aspiring traders. This looks like proof that success is just a click away. Why the social media world is a highlight reel. Remember, social media is a platform for attention. It rewards the spectacular, the dramatic, and the aspirational. Most influencers carefully craft their content to show only their wins or their best trades. What you don't see are the months of losses, the emotional breakdowns, the dry spells, or the trades that never worked out. This highlight reel creates unrealistic expectations. When your trading experience doesn't match the glamorous videos, frustration and self-doubt creep in. The problem with gurus and paid courses: many influencers monetize their audience by selling courses, signals, or subscription services promising fast profits. But most of these products suffer from lack of proven results, oversimplified strategies, no personalized coaching or accountability, high prices that don't match value for many traders. These courses become expensive distractions, draining money and focus without improving performance. Social proof and herd mentality. Social media trading communities amplify groupthink. When everyone seems to be winning, following a guru's advice, it's tempting to jump on the bandwagon. This herd mentality leads to chasing popular trades late, ignoring personal risk tolerance, abandoning your own analysis, trading impulsively based on hype. In reality, the majority are often losing quietly behind the scenes. The psychological toll constant exposure to curated success stories can cause feelings of inadequacy, impatience for quick results, increased risk-taking to catch up, loss of confidence in your own strategy. This social pressure feeds the emotional traps of FOMO and revenge trading. How to navigate the social media mirage. Social media is not inherently bad. It's a tool. But to protect yourself, be skeptical, question what you see. Recognize that behind every perfect post is a complex reality. Focus on your own journey. Trading is deeply personal. What works for one doesn't guarantee success for another. Limit your consumption. Avoid endless scrolling. Set specific times to learn, then disconnect. Seek credible sources. Look for transparent traders who share both wins and losses. Prefer community forums with accountability and honest feedback. Don't chase signals or hype. Develop your own plan and stick to it. The freedom of trading independently. When you detach from the social media noise, you reclaim control over your trading decisions. You begin to trust your analysis, develop discipline, and grow at your own pace. This freedom is a vital step toward joining the small percentage of traders who succeed long-term. Chapter 10: Journaling and Self-Awareness. Your greatest edge in the world of trading, knowledge often feels like the ultimate weapon. Charts, indicators, news, and strategies fill your toolbox. But beyond all the technical skills lies a simpler, more powerful edge: self-awareness. And the key to developing that edge is one of the oldest and most overlooked tools: the trading journal. This chapter will show you why journaling isn't just a chore, it's your secret weapon. Why self-awareness turns the mirror maze into a clear path forward. Why most traders don't journal. The idea of journaling sounds simple enough. Write down what you did, when you did it, and how it turned out. But many traders avoid it. It feels tedious. It's time-consuming. Or they believe their focus should be on finding the next trade instead. This avoidance comes at a huge cost. The power of a trading journal. A well-kept journal does more than log trades. It's a powerful feedback loop. It turns experience into insight. When you journal, you track your entries and exits, position sizes, and risk market conditions and setups, your thoughts and emotions before, during, and after trades. This information shines a light on your strengths and weaknesses. How? Journaling builds self-awareness. Trading is a psychological game as much as a technical one, that when you write down your emotions and mental state, patterns emerge. You begin to see what triggers impulsive trades, when you hesitate or overthink, how fear, greed, or hope affect your decisions, how your mindset shifts during winning and losing streaks. With this awareness, you stop reacting blindly. You gain control. The habit of reflection. Journaling is only valuable if it leads to reflection. Set aside time regularly, daily or weekly, to review your journal. Ask yourself, did I follow my plan? Where did I succeed? And where did I fail? What emotions influenced my decisions? How can I improve next time? Reflection turns data into wisdom. Practical tips for effective journaling to make journaling work for you. Be honest. Record both your wins and your mistakes, emotionally and factually. Include emotional notes. Write about how you felt, not just what you did. Keep it simple. Use bullet points or short sentences. The goal is consistency, not perfection. Use technology apps, spreadsheets, or notebooks. Find what fits your style. Review and adjust. Use your journal to tweak your plan and improve your discipline. Journaling as a tool for growth. The best traders use their journals as training grounds for their minds. They treat losses not as failures, but as lessons. They identify bad habits early and correct them. They celebrate small wins and build confidence steadily. This ongoing process creates a cycle of growth and improvement. The foundation for sustainable success. Self-awareness. The ultimate competitive advantage. While markets are uncertain, one thing is constant: you are trading yourself. Your biases, habits, fears, and desires shape every decision. Self-awareness empowers you to recognize these influences before they control you. It turns the mirror maze into a map. With this edge, you're no longer trapped by your emotions. You lead your trading with clarity and calm. Final chapter: the 2% mindset. Escaping the mirror maze. Throughout this book, we have explored the many pitfalls that trap 98% of traders. From emotional pitfalls like FOMO and revenge trading to technical challenges like strategy overload and the myth of the winning system. We have examined how social media illusions distort expectations, how risk management is often overlooked, and how the trading brain itself needs to be reprogrammed to handle the market's challenges. Now, it is time to bring it all together and focus on what separates the successful 2%, the traders who escape the mirror maze and thrive over the long term. This chapter distills their mindset, their habits, and their unshakable approach to trading success. What is the 2% mindset? The 2% mindset is a way of thinking and acting that transcends mere strategy. It is a disciplined, patient, and resilient approach to the market and to yourself. It is not about quick wins or chasing perfection. It is about commitment to a process that works over time, regardless of market noise, emotional turmoil, or setbacks. This mindset is rooted in self-awareness, discipline, continuous learning, emotional control, adaptability, risk management. Together, these traits form the foundation of consistent success. Key elements of the 2% mindset. 1. Patience over impulse. The 2% understand that trading is a marathon, not a sprint. They wait for high-probability setups rather than chasing every opportunity. They know that missing a trade is better than taking a bad one. Patience lets them avoid the traps of impulsive decisions and emotional trading. 2. Embracing losses as lessons instead of fearing losses or trying to win them back quickly. The 2% treat losses as part of the game, valuable feedback. They analyze their mistakes objectively, learn from them, and move forward without emotional baggage. 3. Mastery of risk. Risk management is non-negotiable. The 2% always protect their capital, understanding that survival is essential to success. They risk small amounts relative to their account size and use stop losses religiously. 4. Focus on process, not profits. They measure success by how well they execute their plan, not by individual trade results. This process-focused mindset keeps them grounded and consistent, regardless of short-term outcomes. 5. Emotional resilience. They cultivate emotional awareness and control. They know when to step back, how to manage stress, and how to stay calm under pressure. Mindfulness, journaling, and mental rehearsal are key tools. 6. Continuous improvement. The 2% are lifelong students of the market and themselves. They use journaling and reflection to refine their strategies and mindsets continuously. They adapt to changing market conditions with flexibility rather than frustration. How to cultivate the 2% mindset. Building this mindset takes intentional effort and practice. Here's how. Commit to a plan. Develop a clear trading plan with defined rules. Follow it consistently. Practice self-awareness. Use journaling and mindfulness to understand your thoughts and emotions. Set realistic expectations. Accept that losses happen and profits come over time. Learn to manage stress. Prioritize health, sleep, and balance to maintain peak mental function. Seek accountability. Find mentors, trading communities, or coaches who encourage discipline. Celebrate small wins. Recognize progress in your process, not just in your profits. The freedom beyond the maze. Escaping the mirror maze means freeing yourself from the cycle of self-sabotage, confusion, and frustration. With the 2% mindset, you take control of your trading and your life. You are no longer a victim of your emotions or the market's unpredictability. You trade with confidence, clarity, and calm. A trader who survives, grows, and thrives. Final thoughts. The journey to becoming part of the 2% is challenging but rewarding. It requires patience, discipline, and humility. It demands that you master not just the market, but yourself. Remember, the market will always reflect what's inside your mind. Escape the mirror maze by transforming your mindset. Join the 2% who see clearly, act wisely, and achieve lasting success. Your journey starts now. Thank you for trusting me to guide you through this exploration. May your trading path be disciplined, mindful, and prosperous.